The officers assure their triangulation with each other, getting on one side of the individual. This approach allows them to see both his hands and to foresee any danger related to the possible use of a hidden weapon. The officers remove the danger that the beer bottle represents. Later, as the individual doesn't cooperate, one of the officers uses joint pressure on the elbow to lift him and later evacuate him under the observation of the other officer who assures the operation. Close-up of the lifting. Close-up of the joint pressure that allows the officer to lift the individual. Questioning of an aggressive drunk. Same kind of intervention, this time on an aggressive individual. The attention of the drunk being completely centered on the officer on whom he tries to throw a bottle, the second officer goes in to neutralize the individual's hands. Later, he turns him over with a joint pressure on the elbow. We observe here the importance of the communication between the officers. Even during the intervention, the officers speak to each other so that each one knows at any given moment what he has to do and where he has to place himself, or if his colleague needs help. Close up on the turnover and neutralization. We see here that the officer begins by neutralizing the individual's hands before beginning his turnover technique. Same intervention, which ends with a cuffing, a frisk, and evacuation. Utilization of the Tonfa or defense baton in the same kind of situation. We observe here again the triangulation realized by the two officers. As the individual doesn't want to release the bottle, they take out their tonfas to protect themselves and incite the drunk to cooperate. Once he has released his bottle, one of the agents takes it in order to assure the intervention. The individual, realizing passive resistance by lying down and crossing his arms, the questioning officer decides, and not having visibility of a possible weapon that the drunk's hands could be hiding, uses his tonfa, first to control his hands, later to turn him over. We find again afterward the cuffing, the frisking, and the evacuation under the attentive observation of the second officer. Close up on the turnover with Tonfa. Here we can see that the officer begins to control the individual's hands in order to prevent any strike or the drawing of a hidden weapon. Later comes the turnover, by coiling the arm with the tonfa. Same technique with the telescopic baton.
Lâchez votre couteau. Lâchez votre couteau. Ramasse.
Same mode of operation and the same technique done this time with the telescopic baton. Same intervention with cuffing, frisking, and evacuation.
Il est interdit de consommer de l'alcool dans un parc. Attention, arme. Lâchez votre couteau. Ah, ah. Ne bougez pas.
Same technique, this time followed by a cuffing, a security frisk, and evacuation. We observed here the importance of the communication between officers. In effect, the first officer, having noticed the knife, advises his colleague, allowing him to prepare himself for a possible aggression. The officers begin with a baton strike. Later, one of the agents is going to neutralize the individual while his colleague recovers the weapon and assures the intervention. Same technique executed with a flashlight.
Vous pouvez pas rester ici, on va fermer le parc. Oh là, attention, couteau, lâchez votre couteau. Lâchez votre couteau. Récupère la lame. Appelle PS. Appelle PS. Et rien de dangereux sur vous, monsieur? Tiens. Prenez votre jambe, prenez votre jambe.
This kind of intervention is still valid whatever the object that the officers have in hand. In this sequence, the officer uses his flashlight to disarm, neutralize, and turn the individual over. We understand, therefore, that it is the fundamentals of the intervention, attitude, security distance, placement, and communication, that are important, and not the means that the officers use.